Moving in Microsoft Office to Excel, in your textbook, page 358, we'll be doing Lesson 1, Exercise 1 of Excel. First, it would be a good idea to find your Microsoft Excel icon and pin it to the taskbar. And you do that by right-clicking and find Pin to Taskbar. You may have to find this icon in the Start menu, and then click on All Programs to find this green colored icon. I would open one up and let us begin. And if you would please join me, page 358, some software skills. When you want to analyze business, professional, or financial data and create reports in a table format consisting of rows and columns, use the Microsoft Office Excel spreadsheet application in the Microsoft Office suite. And continuing on page 358, some terms associated with Microsoft Excel. First of all, we have workbook. And workbook is simply an Excel file, and you are looking at a workbook. A worksheet, this is also a worksheet, but there is sheet 1, there is sheet 2, and there is sheet 3. And we all call each of those worksheets. And I can add more worksheets just by clicking on this button right here. A cell is the intersection of a column and a row, and it's named letter first and then the number. And you can also see the name of your cell right here in this area. An active cell, this is the one that my cursor is on, and our active cell is D8. This box will also tell us what is the active cell. Our formula bar, right here. As you enter data into a cell, it'll simultaneously appear in this area. Notice it appears both here in the formula bar and in my active cell. Undo. The cell reference, the location of a cell in a worksheet as identified by its column letter and row number, also known as the cell's address, right here in this area. Scroll, just like Microsoft Word, we have our scroll bars, and we can also use the wheel, or we can click the wheel, hold the click down, and we can move to the right or move to the left. Continuing, page 359 of your textbook, we started Excel. You can start from the Start menu. And just like Microsoft Word, we have the Office button where you can start a new document. Please do not click on any of these, just have your mouse on these pictures. You have documents that already been opened, save, save as, and just like in Word, we had our choices. If we put our mouse over print, but don't click, we still have our print, quick print, and preview options. Let's take a look at a workbook page. Again, we have our quick access toolbar at the top here. We can totally customize it. We can minimize the ribbon. If we right-click on an icon, we can add to our quick access toolbar. We have tabs. We still have groups. We have our clipboard group, our font group, and we still have the dialog box switch. We still have our ribbon. And lastly, we also have our zoom scrolling. So we can scroll the zoom, or we can just click on the plus, or click on the minus. We could also go to the View tab, and we have a zoom group. We can manually enter our zoom. We can always go back to 100, or we can even just pick a section to zoom. And on 359, I'm in the section where it says Navigate the worksheet. I thought it was interesting to know that there are 16,384 columns, and there are over 1 million rows available in one worksheet. But I don't have to fill the entire one. I just use the space that I want. I can use the scroll to move around in my sheet. I can use the keyboard, the down arrows, the up arrows, even the control arrow features will take me around my document. Actually, it's not a document, it'll take you around my spreadsheet. And flip over to page 360 to change between worksheets. I just simply change my sheet. It allows me to have many spreadsheets within one workbook, especially if they all had something in common. If you're in a business, maybe you have January, February, March, and so on and so on. Maybe you have employees down here and you can keep track of their information. I mean, it's just kind of whatever way you see fit in your business. On page 360, we have worksheet views. Just like Word, we have our different views down here. We have our page layout. You have a page break view, which kind of tells you where the print is going to occur. Notice these dotted lines. That tells me where the print will happen. So if I want to keep it on one page, then I want to make sure to keep my data within inside of those dotted lines. If you go to the View tab, I also am able to go full screen. See my workbook views. Here's page layout again, page break. I have a custom view. But if I go full view, now it's going to change when I click this because I don't record the whole screen. I'll slide it up to you, but as you do it, it went your full screen, and the way to get back to normal is to double click at the top where it says Microsoft Excel Book 1, and I'll move mine up here. So you double click here and it brings it back. I have to adjust my screen. There we go. See, we double click right here where it says Microsoft Excel, and then that'll bring you back to normal view. So that's different than Word. And lastly, on page 360, to exit Excel, make sure I save my work or save as. I can close my document, or I can simply exit Excel. And here we go, page 361. This section just gives you reminders of exactly how to do everything I just walked you through. For example, one I want you to look at is in the second column, and it says change active cell using Go to, and then it says Control G, and then it just kind of tells you how to use that again. You could press F5, however on my particular version it does not work, but push F5 and see what happens. I'm gonna have to push Control G, and I get this little window up, and I could tell it to go to H7, and I click OK, and it takes me to H7. Let's try another one. Control G, and I want to go to AA47. Click OK. Boom, put me at AA47, and it even tells me right there in that area. So again, this area for procedures, page 361, flip over page 362. It just walks you through exactly how to do anything that happens in the exercise. And on page 363, we're actually going to walk through the exercise together. And I'm going to make sure I'm back at reference A1. So I'm going to hit the HOME key, the home key, and that takes me back there. But now I'm going to do Control Up, and I'm back at A1. Oh, I remember how to do it. It's Control Home. Takes me right back there. So Control Home takes you back to A1. I'm going to click on the Home tab, and let's walk through some of these directions. And I'm going to add to it, and then you're actually going to turn this into me through your Google Classroom. So number 1, 363. Follow these steps. We do have our workbook open. Number 2 says move the active cell pointer using the keyboard. Press the right arrow key 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then letter B is we're going to push the down arrow key 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I actually want you to put E5 in that cell, then hit the enter key and make that stay. And number 3 says click cell H9 and make it an active cell. So here's H. Scroll down and there's 9. And then I'll put H9 and hit the enter key. It says press F5 to activate the Go To menu. I'm going to push my S5 and see mine doesn't work. So I'm going to have to do Control G. And it tells me to go to T98. And then hit OK. And actually, I'm going to have you leave this one blank because it's so many pages over here. Remember these dotted lines? Tell me all the different pages. So this would make your document very big and with a lot of blank space. So we're just going to leave this one blank and move on to number 6. Click OK. We're good. Number 7. Click in the name box to change the active cell to the following, pressing enter after each new cell address. Okay. So here's our active cell. We're going to go B1 492 and hit the enter key. And notice it takes us directly to that cell. And we're going to leave that one blank also, just because that would make us a very many pages to our document, which we don't need. We're just going to turn in one page. Then the next dot is we're going to do XFD 104 8576. Hit the enter key. And actually this took us to the very end of the document. Notice there's no more columns and there are no more rows. So you actually have quite a bit of room if you needed it. Number 8, press Control Home to move back to A1. And in this cell I want you to put in this, oh, not A. In that cell I want you to put A1. Click the tab for Sheet 2 to display it. Notice whatever was on Sheet 1 does not carry over to Sheet 2. Click cell D4. Point the horizontal scroll bar and click the right scroll arrow. Good. And what number 11 wants you to do is go down here to the horizontal scroll bar and just click on this arrow, and then I want you to watch D4. And notice it still stays in D4 even though I click it, and it's even disappeared. And there it is again. That's all they were wanting to show you. And number 12, point the horizontal scroll bar and click to the left, and we did both of those already. Number 13, point the horizontal scroll bar and then drag the scroll bar all the way to the right. Click the down scroll arrow on the vertical scroll bar. We're on number 14. And once again, the active cell does not change. Number 15, click the tab for Sheet 1 to redisplay it. We're going to hide the formula bar by just selecting that option in the Show Hide. So we'll go to View. And here's our Show Hide group. And we can lose the formula bar. Change the page, or 17, change the page layout view by clicking its button. Change to full screen. And remember to get back, you're going to have to go all the way to the top of the document where it's, or the spreadsheet where it says Microsoft Excel Book 1. Double click and it brings you back in. And if Mr. 3 would have read the directions, then he would have said, if you went to full screen, number 19 says you can return to the page layout by hitting Escape. So look, there are two ways to accomplish the same thing. And I do apologize, I have been skipping around a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. We did 17, or no, we did 16. We had the formula bar. Number 17, we changed the page layout view by clicking its button. Number 18, we did the full screen, and then we hit escape to get out. 19, return to the page layout view. Change to normal view. 21, restore the frame, the formula bar. Number 22, click the zoom. And our zoom dialog box, we'll click this button right here. Here's our zoom dialog box. It says select custom to 150. Oh, whoops. Sorry, 150. Click OK. Click the zoom out button on the status bar twice, right here. Zoom changes to 130. Drag the zoom slider to the left until the zoom is set to 90. And 88, pretty close. And lastly, 26, click the close button, but actually I want you to leave this document, this spreadsheet open. Go back to your 100%, and we're going to continue on page 364. And we're going to do a little bit on here, but I'm also going to add to this document, or this spreadsheet, and then I'm going to have you turn this in. First, we're going to save as, and change it to your desktop. And we're going to change the name to 01 Practice _ your initials, and save it to your desktop. And page 364. Actually, let's kind of follow Mr. 3 here, and we're going to go to A11. And I want you to type in first period. Go to A12, type in second period. And then go all the way down to 9th period. So pause this video so you can continue, and once you've typed in 9th period, resume our video. And I finished 9th period, and as you notice, it kind of hangs over my cell. And right here, if I go in between the A and B, where those that black line with the 2 arrows show up, and I double click, that automatically changes the width to make it fit whatever is in those cells. Okay. So for B, I want you to put the name of the class you have in each one. So for example, if you have math first period, then put math. If you have history, if you have athletics, whatever you have first period. So basically you're going to type in your schedule of your class name. Okay. For 8th period, go ahead and put RTI, because everybody has RTI. Pause this video so you can type in your schedule, and then I'm just going to kind of make one up, but you type your actual schedule in. So you have your schedule in, and just in case it's too big, double click. Where's my double click? There it is. And actually I'm going to do this one manually and make it longer. And then I'm going to go to the Home tab, and I'm going to center. And then for row C, I want you to put your teacher's name and spell it the best as you can, and remember it as best as you can. And now we have our teachers. This time, I'm going to stretch it out really far. And then I really can go right up here, and I'm going to write, oops, sorry, I have to highlight that column, and then write justify. And I'm going to show you one more neat feature before we turn in our document. I'm going to highlight all 3 areas. And I'm going to do right here what's called borders. Click on this down arrow, and I'm going to apply all borders, which will create a grid or a table. And now everything's nice and organized and nice and neat for Mr. 3 to look at. Let's save it. Move your mouse to save as, but don't click. Go to Excel Workbook, and then make sure you select your desktop. File name is 01Practice. Save. And I do want to replace it. And we are finished. And please turn in 01Practice to your Google Classroom under Assignment 1. Hello!